do like the Alien films in a way, really, doesn't it? Get away from her, you bitch! Oh, well done, Blue. Good girl. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here and welcome to my review of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, the second of the Jurassic World films and the fifth Jurassic Park instalment. I have the other four here in a 4-film collection which will be taking part in a mini ranking later for all 5 films. So this one is a bit different to the others. It has some similarities to the Lost World Jurassic Park, but similarities, it's not the same, thank goodness. I think that would probably be my least favourite, spoiler alert for the ranking. This one, on the other hand, takes a bold new direction. And, yeah, it's pretty great, for the most part. The story, it starts off with a rescue mission, trying to rescue at least one of every 11 species that they can save from the island and transfer them to a new sanctuary. However, this is on the request of a guy called Lockwood, who used to be partners with John Hammond, the original creator of Jurassic Park. However, his new secretary, Mills, I believe, his secretary/assistant person, he's got a completely different agenda. And so, once they've collected some specimens off the island, including Blue and the motherfucking T-Rex, as the nostalgia critic calls it, it turns out that Mills is secretly going to be selling off the dinosaurs as weapons, with the exception of Blue, who is needed for to help create a new Indominus Raptor. Yeah, Indominus Raptor. Creature. It's a brand new weapon in the field of battle, and these dinosaurs are being sold off as weapons, more or less, to the highest bidders. But the new one is a brand new piece of warfare. Ooh. And they start off by taking a DNA sample of the dead Indominus Rex, whilst they have to then get Owen to get Blue. Once they've got Blue and they've managed to track the dinosaurs, they leave Owen, Claire and this guy called Franklin left on the island. However, the other girl, I can't remember her name, they take her with them so she can look after Blue after she is accidentally shot by one of the guys after he attacked him. Eventually, Owen, Claire and Franklin get off the island and make their way onto the ship. And the island, because it's got the volcanic eruption happening, pretty much kills any dinosaur left on the island in a pretty moving scene, to be honest. It's quite moving and quite sad. And that's basically the first half hour and a bit, just under an hour. 13 most of that is 30 to 60 minutes. And then the rest of the film, we see the preparations of the dinosaurs being sold off under Lockwood's nose, though his granddaughter Maisie finds out. And we see the return of Dr. Wu from the first and fourth ones, back to help genetically engineer the creation of the new dinosaurs. he doesn't get eaten or killed on screen, so I'm presuming he's going to be back in the next one, or a future one, depending on what happens. So, to be honest, I'm glad about that, because he's a character from the first film. It's nice to have him back doing stuff relevant to these films. If they are going to kill him off, they need to have... It needs to be closer towards the end of the story they're going for, as he's such a notable character in these films. Excuse me. So, at Lockwood's house, Owen and Claire, they're captured on the way, and Franklin goes undercover as a assistant, and then eventually helping the other girl escape. None of these 4 characters get killed off, by the way, which is a good thing, because I like them. And they help Blue escape whilst Owen and Claire escape, and they find Maisie and help her. And they try to stop the plans. Eventually they do, but unfortunately the guy who's rounding up the dinosaurs on the island lets the Indominus raptor dinosaur out, and it goes on a rampage trying to eat everybody, including Toby Jones's character, who was basically an auctioneer. He was good. Well, Toby Jones was good. Was this character a bit of a slimy character, more or less? A bit like his Culverton Smith character in Sherlock, except swap mass murderer for rich auctioneer. The Indominus Raptor then tries to hunt down Claire, Owen and Maisie, eventually being defeated by Blue. Actually, this dinosaur doesn't really... compare it to other dinosaurs in the series, it doesn't really have a terrible amount of screen time. It takes up a bit of a chunk of the second half, but not a terrible amount. Certainly not as much as the Indominus Rex did in the previous film, which is pretty much at least 3/4 of the movie. Nor the actual threat of... But the effect does feel a bit more... closer to them, and the fact that it's set in a house does make it a bit more of a, I suppose, a more claustrophobic environment than in a park or on an island. Eventually Blue the raptor comes to the rescue and kills the Indominus Raptor after quite a while of trying to avoid being eaten by it. And so yeah, that was actually pretty good how they did that. And then they have to rescue the dinosaurs from being poisoned to death, although they did come close to not killing them. They came close to killing them, letting them die how it was, but then they let them go. And now all the dinosaurs are spread out. They've left the house, they're gonna spread out across the planet. In the post-credit scene, spoiler alert, we see some pterodactyls over Las Vegas. Additional notes towards the end of the story. Well, Lockwood's been killed by Mills just before the auction begins, after Maisie kind of informed him about the dinosaurs. And so he's dead, sadly. Mills himself gets eaten by the motherfucking T-Rex. And Maisie is taken in by Owen and Claire, who will get back together after kind of what appears like another breakup in between films. But they seem to be back together, and they're on their way to fix the log cabin, and all the dinosaurs are now across the planet. And both the start and the end of the films feature Jeff Goldblum as Dr. Ian Malcolm talking to the Senate about the dinosaurs. Also, the opening scene with the recovery of the Indominus Rex DNA. A very cool scene about how the Jaws dinosaur, the water one, it eats up a submarine, and it's been stalking it for a while, and then it later eats a man hanging from a ladder from a helicopter after they just escaped from the T-Rex. So that's an interesting scene, and the way the logo was done, that was really good. I liked how they did that. Instead of just having the simple title, they put the logo kind of in did a kind of a title sequence kind of thing. Not, yeah, kind of a definitely a logo title sequence thingy, short one where it just did the title of the film with the logo in the background. However, the transition from that title sequence into the next scene, which was a BBC One report on the island, the transition felt a bit choppy. It kind of went to black and then kind of cut to black, and then it kind of quickly cut to the BBC report and the incident about 2015 and the eruption of the island. Kind of cuts that very shoddily. I thought that was a very shoddily edited moment, considering we had a pretty great title sequence, and then the cutting to the next scene was done shoddily. Sorry, but that's how it felt. And it's a shame Jeff Goldblum doesn't get much else to do in the movie. I would like to see him a bit more of Ian Malcolm, especially as he was a big part of the first two films. But I'm glad to see him back here. Hopefully, maybe he'll get more to do in the next film. I don't know if whether I like the direction of taking them off the island and into the house. However, I don't think they spend long enough on the island. I think they should have spent a bit more time on the island. But for the purposes of the story, I guess they couldn't spend too long. But they did also spend quite a bit of time at the house. I think they could have had less house, more island, or as much interesting stuff as there was on both sides. And what got me very interested was the genetic. I think Malcolm was talking about it. It was about genetically creating humans or enhancing humans. And Lockwood and Hammond apparently fell out over Lockwood genetically creating his daughter as his granddaughter. As he lost his daughter in an accident, he wanted her back, so he created another one, a granddaughter, so to speak. So that's where Maisie comes from. So that's why, apparently, according to Mills, I believe, that's why Lockwood and Hammond fell out, because Lockwood wanted to use it for human purposes, his own reasonings. Well, Hammond I don't think it's aired on screen, but I don't think Hammond was for that. I think he just wanted the dinosaurs and for Jurassic Park, and he didn't think that doing it for humans was a very good idea. That's how I took to it, and I think, as I mentioned, Malcolm might have mentioned such a thing earlier on in the film. Once again, the dinosaurs look very CG like they did in Jurassic World. I'm not sure if they used as many practicals this time. Probably did. I gave Jurassic World a rewatch. At time recording, it's Wednesday the 13th of June 2018. So I watched Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom yesterday on Tuesday the 12th, and I watched the first Jurassic World on Monday the 11th. So I had quite a clear memory of that one, and it was basically the third watch of it, I believe, yeah. And quite a fresh viewing. And it was a really good viewing. Rewatching it was very good. So this one was pretty much a day after the other one. So seeing the first one in new light, and probably helps with the second one, and there is a lot of CG dinosaurs in both films. I think they could have done a bit more practical, or part practical, but it still works, I suppose. The character's also really good, for the most part, particularly Owen. He's very action hero in this film. I'm not sure if I think that was established in the previous film. He was pretty good as an action hero, but this one takes it up a bit further. And Claire's also good, and Franklin is alright to start, but he gets better as it goes along. the other girl is definitely also a very good character. She's probably the most likeable. And Maisie is probably the least annoying of the children, with the possible exception of the boy from Jurassic Park 3. Though she does scream quite a lot, so maybe the boy from Jurassic Park 3 takes the mantle of the least annoying kid in the series. The most annoying is probably the one from number 2, Malcolm's daughter. Possibly, I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that, but yeah. I also think this one is the most necessary to the plot. Again, I think the last 3 films have done that better than the first 2. Having the kids be a bit more essential to the plot than 1 and 2 were. But although this one, in this case, it's more for the subplot about the genetic creation and how it's being worked on. Which was very good, and Mills is a really slimy character, just like Toby Jones's character. Very slimy. And yeah, it all fits in pretty well. Yeah, it's a pretty good film. A few nitpicks, like I said, with the editing of the bit from the opening title bit to the first scene afterwards. Nice titles, by the way, and also the end titles look like the credits are coming out at you because of the movements of the fire. So anyway, so just a few nitpicks, but for the most part, I liked this one. I really liked it. Some people might not be fans of it, but I think it's pretty good. Has some really good moments. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Bit too high, but I think I might have given the first Jurassic World this score as well. If not, then an 8 for that one. And the first one is also a 9. The other 2 I think are 7 at highest, maybe a 6. So that's it from my review of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. But before we go, the Jurassic Park / World Series ranking. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne YouTube channel. Sorry for holding this. Shouldn't do that. Excuse me. Don't worry, you'll see more Action Earth Agents, possibly. Series 3. Possibly.